I want to start today's video with a question that I think will resonate with a lot of men watching this, even if most men have never heard it asked quite this directly. When was the last time your partner truly felt held during intimacy? Not just physically held, though that matters, but genuinely held in the fuller sense, seen, present with, emotionally contained, and completely safe in your hands. I ask that question because in over a decade of working with couples as a men's sex therapist, one of the most consistent patterns I encounter is this. Men and women frequently want different things from intimate positions, and the gap between what men gravitate toward and what women most deeply crave is often enormous. Men tend to reach for positions that maximize physical sensation, physical effort, and a sense of agency or control. Women, when they are honest and safe enough to articulate it, tend to ask for something that looks considerably different from those priorities. They ask for closeness, stillness, eye contact, the feeling of being completely enveloped and unhurriedly present with the feeling of being warped rather than just pursued. And here is what makes this gap so consequential. The positions that women most deeply crave are not the positions that look impressive or athletic or exciting from the outside. They are often the positions that look to many men almost passive. And because many men interpret the quality of their sexual performance through the lens of visible effort, speed, and physical dynamism, they overlook or actively avoid the very positions their partners are silently and sometimes explicitly longing for. Today, I am going to walk you through 5 specific positions that women consistently ask for in couples therapy sessions, in anonymous surveys, and in the rare, honest conversations about what they wish their partners would offer more of. None of these positions require any special physical skill. None of them require impressive athleticism or stamina. What every single one of them requires is the one thing that is both more available and more challenging than any physical technique: genuine, unhurried, emotionally present stillness. I am Dr. Julia Rhodes, a men's sex therapist with over a decade of experience working with different couples and helping men regain their sexual health and strength back. Before we begin, please subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications if you have not already done so. Every week I publish content that gives men the honest, clinically informed, deeply practical guidance they need to become genuinely better lovers and more attuned partners. If today's video resonates with you, please share it with a man in your life who you think would benefit. And now let us get into the 5 positions. Position 1, the lotus position. The lotus position is in physical terms straightforward to describe. She sits in your lap, wrapping her legs around your waist while you sit with your legs crossed or gently folded beneath you. You are face to face, chest to chest. Your foreheads can touch. There is essentially no distance between your bodies anywhere. You are not stacked in a hierarchy of over and under. You are simply and completely together. What makes the lotus position so psychologically powerful for women is precisely what makes it uncomfortable for many men. It removes almost every form of performance from the equation. There is no impressive range of motion possible in this position. There is no speed, no power, no athleticism to display. The movement available to you is slow and circular, a rocking rather than a thrusting, and it requires you to hold her weight steadily against you rather than driving any particular physical agenda. The lotus demands that you simply be there completely with no hiding behind movement or effort. Most men, when they first encounter this position, feel an uncomfortable sense of passivity. They feel like they are not doing enough, not contributing enough, not being enough. The absence of vigorous physical action feels to men who have been conditioned to equate sexual competence with visible effort like a failure of some kind. And so they resist the lotus, or they try it briefly and introduce urgency and speed into it in ways that immediately undermine what makes it valuable. What those men do not yet understand is that for a woman, the experience of a man who is fully and calmly present without any agenda, who is holding her weight without strain or impatience, who is looking at her face and breathing slowly and not trying to get anywhere, is one of the most profoundly moving experiences that intimacy can offer her. His stillness is not passivity. It is the most active form of presence. It communicates through every second of its duration that he is completely here, that she is enough exactly as she is, and that there is nowhere he would rather be and nothing he is waiting for. The lotus also creates a physical and sensory environment that is unlike almost any other intimate position. Your faces are inches apart. She can feel your breath. You can see every expression that crosses her face in real time and respond to it with a word, a look, or a touch. She can run her fingers through your hair, rest her forehead against yours, press her lips to your neck. The intimacy is not concentrated in a single physical act, but distributed across the entire surface of your shared contact. The rhythm that the lotus requires is also deeply regulating for both nervous systems. The slow synchronized rocking that is the only movement truly available in this position tends over a few minutes to bring both partners' breathing into alignment. And the synchronization of breath between two people in close physical contact is one of the most powerful natural mechanisms for creating a felt sense of deep connection and safety. Neurologically, this synchronized breathing and the sustained eye contact of the lotus both activate the social engagement system of the nervous system, which is the part of the autonomic system associated with genuine safety, trust, and the deepest forms of human bonding. You are, in other words, doing something neurologically profound together in this position, something that no amount of athletic sexual performance can replicate because it operates through a completely different and deeper mechanism. When a woman asks for the lotus position, she is not asking for a particular physical sensation. She is asking for a particular emotional experience. The experience of being completely held, completely seen, and completely present with you in a moment that belongs to the two of you alone. Give her that fully and without reservation, and watch what it does to the depth of your connection over time. Position 2, spooning. Many men categorize spooning as a secondary option, something for when you are tired, something for lazy Sunday mornings, something that occupies the space between proper sex and simply lying together. This categorization fundamentally misunderstands what spooning offers and why so many women describe it as one of their most deeply desired forms of intimate connection. In spooning, you lie on your side behind her, your chest pressed against the curve of her back, your arm around her waist, your legs tangled with hers. She is curled in front of you, her back completely given over to your presence. She cannot see your face. She can feel you everywhere. The psychological power of this position for women begins with the act of trust it requires from her. When she gives you her back during intimacy, she is giving you the part of herself that she cannot watch. She cannot monitor your expression. She cannot see what you are doing or where you are looking. She is trusting you completely with her most unguarded self. In the language of attachment and vulnerability, this is a profound act of faith. And the fact that you want her this way from behind, without her face performing for you, communicates something that women find deeply moving. You want her simply and completely, not as an audience for your desire, but as a person whose entire presence you find desirable. The physical experience of spooning is also unique in ways that matter to women. The position allows for a slow, deep rhythm that is nothing like the fast, percussive pace that many men default to in other positions. It is, as I often describe it to the men I work with, a whisper rather than a shout. The depth and closeness of the contact, combined with the absence of speed or urgency, produces a qualitatively different kind of arousal. One that builds slowly, spreads through the whole body, and has a warmth and intimacy to it that fast, goal-oriented sex rarely achieves. There is also something in the physical configuration of spooning that touches something very deep in female psychology. Being completely encircled by your partner's body, feeling his heartbeat against your back and his breath in your hair triggers a felt sense of safety and shelter that women describe as almost impossible to produce in any other way. She feels guarded. She feels like the most important and protected thing in the room. She feels like she could stay exactly here indefinitely and want for nothing. When men skip spooning because it does not feel dynamic or impressive enough, they bypass one of the most direct routes to the specific emotional experience their partners are most hungry for. The feeling of being completely surrounded by someone who wants to be exactly where they are. I want to add something here about the particular quality of spooning that makes it worth returning to not just occasionally, but regularly. Unlike many intimate positions, spooning does not have a clear beginning and end that corresponds to the beginning and end of the sexual act itself. You can drift in and out of sleep in the same configuration. You can wake up still holding her. You can spend an unhurried morning in that position before anything else happens or without anything else needing to happen at all. The position itself communicates continuity and permanence in a way that few others can. It says, I am still here. I have not gone anywhere. I am wrapped around you exactly where I chose to be, and I intend to stay. Position 3, the chair position. On its surface, the chair position appears to place all agency and effort with her. She is on top straddling you as you sit in a sturdy chair or on the firm edge of the bed, feet flat on the floor, back straight. She sets the pace. She controls the depth and rhythm. She is visually and physically the one driving the encounter. And this is precisely why so many men resist it, because many men experience the removal of their own physical agency in intimate moments as a loss of something important. They feel like observers rather than participants, furniture rather than lovers. They want to be doing more. What those men have not yet understood is that the chair position is not about removing you from the encounter. It is about redefining your role within it in a way that gives her something she genuinely needs. And what she needs is the experience of being fully in control of her own pleasure, at her own pace, in her own rhythm, while being held by someone who is completely and solidly present beneath her. Here is the specific quality of the chair that is not available in the standard woman on top configuration in bed. When she is on top of you in bed, she is typically braced on her hands or knees, managing her balance, holding herself up from the mattress, negotiating gravity in a way that takes attention and physical effort. She is partially focused on the logistics of her own position. In the chair, she sits upright. She is vertical, supported by you and the structure of the position itself. Her hands are free. Her body is fully present. She can lean back, she can move forward, she can settle into whatever angle and pace her body is asking for without any of the physical management that bed-based positions require. This freedom of posture and movement allows her to be fully inhabiting the experience in a way that is genuinely rare. And she is doing it while looking directly at you, while you look directly up at her. The eye contact of the chair position is different from any other. You looking up at her, she looking down at you. Both of your bodies fully visible to each other. Neither hiding, neither performing, just present. Your role in the chair is to be exactly what the chair itself is. Stable, solid, completely reliable. The platform on which everything else is possible. Your hands on her hips or thighs communicate guidance without control. Your presence beneath her communicates that she is supported completely. You are not the passenger and she is not the driver. You are the ground and she is standing on it freely. When she asks for this, she is asking for the specific experience of being trusted with her own pleasure, of being given the freedom to move in the way that feels exactly right to her, while knowing that the man beneath her is not waiting for her to perform, is not grading her, and is not going to take back the wheel. She is asking for a form of safety that most women rarely experience, the safety of being allowed to be fully themselves in the most intimate possible context. Position 4, legs on shoulders. This position requires some physical flexibility and attentiveness, and it looks from the outside like a straightforwardly athletic and intense configuration. She lies on her back. You lift her legs and rest her ankles or calves on your shoulders, folding her body slightly and creating an angle and a depth of closeness that is different from almost any other position. Most men understand the physical dimension of this immediately. The angle allows for a depth and intensity of connection that she registers powerfully in her body. But the reason women ask for this position is not primarily physical, and understanding the real reason changes how you approach it entirely. When her legs go up and she becomes fully open in front of you, something shifts in her psychologically. She has no more barriers. There is no crossed leg, no angle of defense, no part of her body that is guarded or unexposed. She is entirely open, her legs framing your view of her, her face completely visible to you, everything about her available to your gaze. This is the most vulnerable physical position she can be in with you, and the reason she chooses it The reason she asks for it is because she trusts you enough to be completely without armor in your presence. That trust is the actual gift she is offering in this position. Not the physical access, but the emotional nakedness that the physical configuration requires of her. She is telling you with her body that she believes you can hold this level of her vulnerability without flinching, without turning away, without making her feel exposed in an unsafe sense. She is passing you a profound act of faith and waiting to see how you receive it. How you receive it matters enormously. The men who understand this position lean forward not just physically, but emotionally. They hold her legs with care rather than mechanical efficiency. They make and sustain eye contact rather than looking anywhere else. They whisper to her. They lean down to kiss her at moments when she might not expect it. They stay aware that what is happening in front of them is an act of extraordinary trust, and they meet it with the attentiveness and tenderness it deserves. The physical configuration also creates a specific kind of closeness in how you must move. To reach her face from this position, you have to lean down toward her. To speak to her, you have to bring your face close to hers. You are hovering above her, covering her, surrounding her from above while she is completely open beneath you. The feeling this creates for her is one of being both maximally vulnerable and maximally safe simultaneously, which is the emotional paradox that represents the peak of what intimate trust can feel like. She is completely at your mercy, and she feels completely safe there. That combination is what she is begging for when she asks for this position. Your job is not to interpret this as an invitation to intensity or speed. Your job is to recognize it for what it is, an act of complete trust offered to you freely, and to receive it with the reverence it deserves. Position 5. The seated oral position. This is the position that requires the most deliberate choice from you, because it requires you to get off the bed and onto your knees on the floor. And for many men, that simple physical act carries a weight of psychological resistance that is disproportionate to its actual difficulty. The setup is simple. She sits on the edge of the bed or in a chair, leaning back slightly, relaxed and open. You kneel on the floor in front of her and give her your full, unhurried, devoted attention. That is the entire position. She is above you. You are below her. Your focus is entirely and exclusively on her pleasure. The resistance most men feel toward this position comes from the symbolism of kneeling. In the cultural lexicon of masculinity that most men have absorbed, kneeling before someone communicates submission, weakness, a lowering of status. Men who have been taught to lead, to stand tall, and to be the one in control of intimate encounters experience the act of getting onto the floor in front of their partner as a kind of contradiction of their role. But here is the reframe that changes everything for the men I share it with. When you kneel in front of her, you are not lowering yourself. You are lifting her. You are making a physical declaration with your body in the most literal way possible that her pleasure is worth your discomfort, that she is worth the hardness of the floor, that you are choosing to put yourself below her because where you want to be is right there, completely focused on her without any attention left over for yourself. For a woman, the visual experience of looking down and seeing her partner's complete, absorbed, devoted attention directed at her is one of the most powerful feelings that intimacy can produce. She does not have to perform. She does not have to worry about how she looks or sounds. She does not have to give anything back in this moment. She is simply receiving completely and without condition the full gift of your devoted attention. There is a quality of tenderness that the best version of this position requires from you that goes beyond technique. Your hands resting on her thighs communicate possession without pressure. Your pace communicates patience. Your complete absorption in what you are doing communicates that this is not a transaction, not a step in a sequence, not something you are doing in order to get something back. It is its own complete thing offered to her because she deserves it. When she runs her fingers into your hair and looks down at you, what she feels in that moment is a quality of being truly seen and truly valued that most women describe as rare, profound, and deeply moving. She feels powerful and cherished simultaneously. She feels like someone has taken their time to put her at the absolute center of the experience, not as a performance or a technique, but as a genuine expression of how much she matters. All 5 of the positions I have described today share a single underlying principle, and I want to state that principle clearly before we close. None of these positions require any physical skill. None of them require athleticism, impressive endurance, or a particular body type. What every single one of them requires is the willingness to be fully present, to hold your own need to perform or achieve or impress completely to the side, and to make the quality of her experience the singular focus of your attention. That willingness, sustained and genuine, is what transforms the physical act of sex into the kind of intimate connection that women describe as unforgettable. It is what she is asking for every time beneath whatever words she uses or does not use to ask for it. And the most important thing I want you to take from this video is not a list of 5 positions to try. It is the understanding of what all 5 of them are really asking of you. Not more skill, not more athleticism, not more impressive technique, more presence, more stillness, more genuine, unhurried, devoted attention. That is the most powerful sexual skill that exists, and it is available to every man who chooses to develop it. I am Dr. Julia Rodes, a men's sex therapist with over a decade of experience working with different couples and helping men regain their sexual health and strength back. If today's video gave you something genuinely new and useful to bring into your intimate life, please do 3 things right now. Hit the like button because it helps more men find this content at exactly the right moment. Leave a comment below and tell me which of these 5 positions you have been overlooking and why, because I read every single comment and your responses shape what I create for this community every week. And please subscribe with notifications on if you have not already, because every week I am here with the honest, deeply practical guidance on men's sexual and relational health that you deserve. I will see you in the next